Okay,
Hey, boom.
it stopped. There was an error with mine. Try yours.
My man is on. We're on live.
My name is Abina Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia. For Liberia, Liberia. For Liberia, yeah, 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 yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday. It's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs. Hey. In diaspora. Current affairs. Hey. Reliable information. History. Ooh. Talking about culture. Yeah. Politics. Education. Entertainment. Yeah. Business. Sports. Advertisement. Articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday. Focus on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Focus on Liberia's longest running show, On Point. And we have always been on point. Today is no exception. I am here with some of the brilliant of the brilliant minds in the Republic of Liberia discussing issues that are totally focused on Liberia, nowhere else, even though they may be other places like London, Ethiopia, some place called Philadelphia, I think Washington, D.C. or Baltimore, wherever that
In
place
the
is.
house.
Washington, D.C., for Virginia, and then in the best state in these United States, the great state, the sunshine state of Florida. So we are here. Today is a beautiful day. We want to wish you the beginning of the Thanksgiving weekend. If you are in the United States, this week, tomorrow starts the week of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of the month of November every year. So we'll be celebrating our families, our friends. It's going to be festive. A few of us are going to pull a few pounds because it is the time of consumption. We're going to consume a lot of food. Unnecessary spending, but that's what makes this country great. Let me welcome our guests here. First, I have to go all the way to the oldest republic, Ethiopia. Thomas, kind of welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Gamer. It's a pleasure to be here. Hello to all of you guys and hello to all of our listeners.
And I have to go to another foreigner. Thomas is a foreigner. He is in Ethiopia. Another foreigner here. He's in London. He's in UK. Dr. Fidel, welcome to the show. Welcome to the real show. We are in the United States. You are a foreigner. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, the country we're talking about, a lot of foreigners.
Excuse me.
For the United States, I am a foreigner.
Welcome. Let me welcome the president, Unse's son, Aliu Kamara. Someday he valley. I don't know who are you today, but what face you wearing? Honorable Aliu Kamara, welcome.
You know, I'm very agnocentric, so you can use any of the many names. It'll work out. But great having me, man. I'm glad to be among you guys. All these smart guys, I'll be able to learn from you. Booty, on the other hand, a controversial booty, kind of. resident economist, and Pabe himself, Jimmy Eastman. Why wisdom? So we're here to learn. We're here to learn. Thanks for having me.
He says I can use any name from the Mende tribe, so I'm going to call you Koma Jaw. Koma Jaw. Honorable Eastman, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. I hope we have, just like Aliyu said, I hope we learn from each other.
Excellent. The Global Secretary General of CMC, Honorable Victor Namwe, welcome, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Gilman. It's good to be with you all. Happy Sunday to you all, and happy pre-Thanksgiving. Let's begin to reflect. I think we have a lot to be thankful for, but thank you very much. Good to be here.
Great, guys. Do us a favor, share this show. Before we get started, I think everybody on here, we will share this show in our own link, our own pages, our own groups. And let's begin the topics today in Liberia. Hopefully we can cover all. I'm hoping that either Elvis Morris or Tower will be here, because without Tower,
Oh boy.
It's easy to bring Tao. Just say Pan African.
Yeah. Tower said all the changes you're talking about, you know you're in serious. Because that thing, I'm telling you, they may got to change. We need a complete revolution. And I think, Tower, we are waiting on you to come on and let us know how we can change the 20% thing to something really good.
He will soon be on America's Most Wanted list very soon.
That's a very bold statement.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to cover two topics today that we all can discuss. I think everybody has an opinion. We want to look at the Sunday confirmation of our own sister, Bintu Fatima Salif. We'll look at that, what it says about who we are, our character. I think it was President Obama who was trying to paraphrase another president. He says, if you want to know the real character of a man or woman, give them power. This is what we are seeing, and we're discussing not just her, we also saw the Director General of LBS, Mr. Fagon, when he said, I unilaterally says that before anybody comes to ELBC, ELBS, excuse me, I'm dating myself, ELBC, ELBS, I have to approve and tell him we didn't cancel the show. I stop him by the power vested in me. And
already in the back for too long. Let's get to the topic.
and we get the president's son here. He's sitting and see. That seat is hot. I told you. That seat is sitting on is hot. It's hard to sit there. Then we're going to talk about the CMC. I don't know what value was going all over the place. Before you build road, you know, the president had to agree. Before you build bridge, the president had to give you the go ahead. Before you put up a light pole, the president had to give you the go ahead because of how you're doing in America. I don't know when. Finally, they had done an above face, giving the CMC the go ahead. The starting revelation accusing two crooks. Now let's look at Stanton Weatherspoon is accusing our tourism director Oranunga as a crook. And Oranunga replied in kind and said, not only are you a crook, but you are a convicted felon. And when you reply to you, we'll look at those two. Now the new revelations about the yellow machine by VP Kum at the Traditional Leaders Conference, along with other sideline happening, NTA bus, the buses that Joseph Wagner was just driving around, broke down, and the students were pushing what's going on. Let me start with our brother here. Let me start with the diplomat, because he's the guy who would love to smooth it around the edges. Honorable Eastman.
Yeah.
We saw the confirmation of Miss Salif and the debacle of the failure, lying on her oath. Some people say embellishment of her credential. And then her revisit. She apologized for her crime because lying on an oath is a crime. She apologized to the Republic. She was confirmed, and then she flipped. She and few friends of her were having a celebration. During the celebration, she was using invectives. Not only that, but she shot the bird to everybody and called herself above the law because she's the president's daughter, she says. Your take on this whole debacle?
Yeah, so a quick recap. Ms. Sirleaf was nominated for post deputy minister for urban affairs under the Joseph Bokai's government administration. During her first appearance before the Senate, she claimed she had a master's degree in social work with emphasis in mental health and substance abuse, and a minor in urban development from Keene University, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. It was subsequently revealed that the claim minor in urban development did not appear to exist in Keene University's programs. So what goes on under questioning? Secondly, she admitted that to misleading the Senate, and she acknowledged that her earlier statement under oath was inaccurate. So what is playing here? What is the integrity and qualification of the nominees? You know, the fact that a nominee admitted to providing false information under oath is serious. Providing false or misleading information under oath undermines public trust and carries strong ethical implications. What else will she not say next? But the Senate's willingness to proceed with confirmation despite that admission raises a question. What is the threshold does the Senate consider before disqualifying a nominee? We know with Namaniki, he was disqualified because he lied on his citizenship. So it begs the question: what kind of procedural robustness and transparency is required by this Senate? And then lastly, I will end with this: her tirade she went on in the evening, where she says she's the Bokai's daughter. The key question there is: does her confirmation stem from merit qualifications or competence, or from political patronage, loyalty, or expediency? And it will be difficult to govern if we're allowing loyalty to be the determining factor, because you need the proper expertise in the proper locations for things to run correctly. So, but to tell you the truth, when I saw her performance in the Senate hearing, I knew she had that air of arrogance that says, you guys can't tell me no. You're just here. You're just a rubber stamp. And she showed it, and this is exactly right in the face. I would like to hear what my brother Aliyu will say, but this was right in the face. I said, y'all couldn't do nothing to me. Yeah, I'm here. So I'll leave it right there.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, do us a favor, share this show. This is serious. Let me go to Mr. Kane. Kane, this is what puzzles me is when a job does not have a required degree. Like when you go to some job, they will tell you 2 years of bachelor's degree, or 4 years of a bachelor's degree, or 10 years of working experience, blah, blah, blah. But this one is a blanket endorsement. It does not require any degree. Why embellish?
Thank you, Mr. Kime. I think what happened to Fatima is something that has been going on since the Civil War ended. She was actually thrown into this. The Department of Urban Affairs is a department in the Ministry of Internal Affairs that was created back in 1972. And since the Civil War ended, all of our post-war governments, from Madam Salif onto the current administration, don't seem to take urban development very seriously. So in many instances, people who need to be given jobs in government and they can't find place for them, they'll just send them to that department. And it's one of the weakest departments in that entire ministry. The ministry pays more attention to the issue of traditional governance, like overseeing the counties, paying attention to traditional chiefs and all of that, than paying attention to the urban department that is there. And urban, from the economic sense, is very critical. Today, we see urban issues, we see urban as a driver of growth. That's why we need to take this urban issue very seriously. But since the Civil War ended, this has been the pattern. Like you said, there may not be a qualification rating in the act maybe that created the ministry, but we expect that these positions in the different ministries and agencies that have these technical specifications assigned to them, at least when people are going there, they need to have a background in the area that they are going to serve in. So we expect that a deputy minister for urban affairs at least have some background in urban. And that's why you see Fatima is struggling. She's trying to draw it into her CV, even though this is not what she did in school. So this is why I'm saying that she was thrown into this. I think I said this on a previous show that we had. Since the Civil War ended, Liberia has not even finalized an urban development policy. UN Habitat has been helping us. City Alliance scheme, they help us, but we've not even finalized it. So our cities are growing without control. It's almost like this child that comes up and the parents are dead. They are on the street, they just cater to themselves. That's how our cities are growing without control. So for me, for the fact that they threw her into it and she had no background into it, and so she starts to swim. She comes and says she has a master in social work with minor in urban development. The US is one country that does very broad degrees, but that's not one of them. And like Jamie said, the university she said she graduated from does not offer it. And she appears so unprepared. If you watch the first Senate hearing that she had, she did not write a single word on paper. She just went verbatim and was just talking from one point to the other. I remember they asked her, what is a government? She said government is of the people, for the people, by the people. She was actually defining democracy to mean government. Senator Tilo had to ask her, why didn't you bring a written script for your interview? And she said, oh, the person who was in this position, I've been looking for the person, I could not find the person. So she appears so unprepared. And to me, even after confirming her, I don't see her competent for that role. And it goes back to the point I'm making that we are not paying attention to urban development issues. And to close on this, in the new act that has been submitted to the legislature to transition the Ministry of Internal Affairs to the Ministry of Local Government, there is not going to be a separate deputy minister for urban affairs. Urban affairs, research and development will be merged into a single position. That will make it even more critical because that person will have to look over urban, look over research and development issues from the perspective of the new role of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So that's a very critical position. But to end on this, Fatima is not prepared for that. The assistant minister she got to support her has no background in that area. So we just need to forget about urban development in the next few years.
As you are aware, my name is Fatima Bintu Sirleaf. I do hold a master's degree in social work with emphasis in mental health and substance abuse, and my minor is in urban development. I also hold a bachelor's degree in social work from Seton Hall University.
It turned out that I grew up right next door to Seton Hall University in Newark, New Jersey. I was at Rutgers University in West Orange there. Is Seton Hall, so I'm quite familiar with Seton Hall University. You see, when she said that, people who didn't like her or that she was beefing with, they went right to the school and started checking and doing their own background check. And one is a legal scholar who just loved to research when people say these things. And she researched, found out that that program didn't even exist. Aliu, here we are Liberian. When someone calls it, when you go to court, the lawyer will tell you, please answer to the question. Don't go all over the place before they trap you. So why are you going to, out of this job doesn't even require a master's degree, anything. They expect you to have it though. But why put this kind of thing around your neck and the people start pulling it now, you start from it? Go ahead.
Sometimes we can't blame the appointees. Sometimes we have to be honest and blame those who appoint them. They make their life difficult. They put them in situations. It's like you dig a hole and put someone inside there and they come out. That's what happened with some of these positions. Urban development is not a joking issue. You have to know several things. You have to know about civil works. You have to know about engineering, not in detail, but you have to have the concept of those things. This is a woman who have only gone to school.
I want to make sure I understand you. Are you criticizing the appointing power? You criticize the president right now? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm making my point. That's what I'm doing.
No, I want you to be clearer than that.
I'm as clear as can be.
I think we should allow him to learn because he was clear for me.
It wasn't clear for me. Go ahead, Aliu.
Okay.
You're the interpreter.
They do.
Okay. From Foya to Sierra Leone, from Creole to English to Bassa. Go ahead.
Okay. So where was I, by the way? Anyway, so this is a woman who have only gone to school for social work, period. Bachelor social work, master social work. That's it. There's no university on the East Coast where I live where you can do social work and urban development. They don't even go together. You know? So that was a position that Honorable Baka put her in. I think she's a victim here because I, a layman like me, would not be appointing Fatima or anybody of her pedigree in terms of experience, you know, to a position of an assistant minister, not to talk of a deputy minister. I think this is some of the places or the times our leaders really dropped the ball. And the woman has never worked in any administrative area before. What are you talking about? I mean, I understand, you know, driving, going to take care of sick people, mentally deranged people, excuse me for the expression, and all of that, that's great. I consider those things humanitarian. But when you're talking about a government job, and you're talking about urban development for a country that really does not have any real layout, you know, in terms of meeting today's standard, and then you will boldly take a novice, not just one novice though, two novices. You take both of them. My man, what you need? Mark Jabate. Even when I saw that appointment, I was like, Joe Burger dropped this one though. This guy has never done any serious work before. So you need to have somebody over there who has a strategic understanding of drafting an entire city. I'm not saying you're going to do it by yourself, but if somebody's working for you, you have to tell the person what you want. If you don't know what you want, how can you hire who you want to work for you in order to get success? So Fatima is a passionate lover of JMB. JMB is actually the father she didn't have. Anybody messes with JMB, Fatima can die for that. But some people are better off as supporters. You see me? Anthony say came to me and said, I'm going to count on the thing here and become a co-host on Hour of Politics. I said, no, I'm an empath. I don't like spotlight. I'm not good in the spotlight. I do my thing slow way. You understand what I'm saying? Dennis Key, you got to come on the show. You become a caster, blah, blah, blah. I said, Dennis, I'd rather be a panelist. It's better off for me this way. So sometimes some of these things, some people are good, people are intelligent, but everybody got their area. You can't take a girl from social work that have done social work job all her life and just put her straight deputy minister. I don't. This is public service, but I think civil service agencies should get involved with this. We have to be careful before people actually climb the ranks in government. They will go step by step. We're talking director, assistant minister, before deputy minister. But to just grab somebody from New Jersey and carry them straight deputy minister in a country that actually need well-structured urban development projects, that's crazy. But to just grab somebody from New Jersey and carry them straight deputy minister.
Every time Dennis John enters our studio,
I'll mute him.
yeah,
Go ahead.
we got to bar this man from the guy from Boca
Dennis want to refute. He wants to refute what Aliu just said.
every time you talk about that beautiful girl called Fatima, he gets upset. Fidel, let me go to Victor. Victor, last week I did saw the video that went viral too. The old lady that used to say Joseph work at a baby. She was coming from one ministry with her IDE, and people started asking her, but what are you doing here? She said she was appointed to the War Economic Crime Court. She said she's over there. And people said, but what do you know? She said, who appointed you? They said, does it matter who appointed me?
I believe that one.
Victor, the old lady said, it doesn't matter who appointed me. Joseph appointed somebody, appointed me, and I appointed someone. It just went viral. It was so funny, but this is what we are. People these are partisans that have supported us. When I'm saying this is not a Joseph Boyka thing, this is a Liberian thing. Ellen did it. We did it. Joseph Boyka is doing it. You have to give partisans jobs, those who are loyal to you, and you find something, you put them there. Usually nobody critique this, but this time around, somebody, well, I shouldn't say because they did Iwamwiki and the other folks, but yes.
One Bodike, not Iwambuki.
Man, talk your own. But this is this is the culture of the country where we appoint people who are loyalists instead of the qualifications.
Yeah, I mean, this really, I think President Boga is channeling, Donald Trump in many ways. You just need to get on web TV or radio and say nice things about him, and that's the only qualification apparently you need. I have to agree with Ali on this one. I think Fatima's attitude about this job is a function of the appointing power, their own attitude towards this job. He did say the assistant minister that she is going to be the boss still. He doesn't have any background. I mean, I think Mike is an educated man, but I don't think his background is in urban planning or
political science.
There you go. So the president sends him there. Why? Because Mike has been to say some nice things about the president. Fatima was on the airways here saying nice things. You remember she is from the city council. She was first appointed to the Monrovia City Council. She's a city council member. So if I were her, I would probably bring that in as some of my qualifications for develop urban planning, because on the city council maybe she was able to talk about some of the planning, the zoning for Monrovia. But yes, clearly this one could have been better used in other capacity, other than the job that the president assigned her to. And this president is an educated, very experienced person, but sometimes his action really make you wonder whether he's in control. I don't think he even saw the appointment that appointed this lady. I don't believe Boakai knows Fatima's qualification and he would send her to urban planning. I don't think he does. So somebody obviously, is running the show. Maybe he has an auto pen in the mansion that signs the appointment. I don't know. But she came unprepared. Not only that, unrepentant. You understand me? She came in there, she flopped the confirmation. She went back there, she still flopped it again. Not only that, she came out, she became very, very boisterous, very, very antagonistic to people who she perceived as calling her out. You understand? Not contrived. not remorseful, nothing. She got on air and cursed another female out. As a deputy minister in the government, being all drunk, I can say, I will go on a limb and say drunk because the attitude she displayed over there. I've seen her in many places. I've sat with her. As I know how she behaves. You understand me? I think that is qualification for this, removing this lady. I don't know why it is so difficult. Maybe we're not seeing the same thing that the president is seeing. But clearly, her attitude, her whole attitude about this job, I think is beneath the position. I don't think she's qualified for this job. I think she's very qualified for other things, but not as a deputy minister for urban development. I mean, look at Monrovia. Look at Liberia. Liberia could use a lot of urban planning and communities congested. You got trash all over the place. That's part of planning the community so that you can alleviate the congestion and all of that. That's part of a planning. That's part of a responsibility from what I've been able to glean from other places. I mean, she's a social worker, Yeah, she's supposed to, help clients, navigate social services and that kind of thing, advocate on their behalf, even care plan. That is very different from urban development. So the fact that the president has signed her to that job, I agree with Alio, told her that the president is not taking that job seriously. And that's why she came to the interview totally unprepared. I don't think she even looked at any reading material at all for this job. Because when you come into the Senate for this, you bring in your vision for your assignment. What you wish to do, the things that you wish to change, and how you intend to run the place. She brought nothing. And then, even then, they gave her all of the little, helping hand and all of that. She still couldn't grab it. So she came out and she doesn't want people to talk about it. When you talk about it, then she talks about your body part, whether your hair is small or fine, you're beautiful, whatever it is. That has absolutely nothing to do with the job. So it's a disappointment, but here we are. She got confirmed anyway. So the Senate I would blame the Senate for confirming her, maybe partly, but I would go to the appointing power. I think that's where the mistake came from. She herself, she doesn't have the decency and the dignity to say, you know what, I don't think I can do this. Like Ali was just saying, when our colleagues approach him to serve in other capacity, you should know yourself, and say, you know what, thank you, but no thanks. I would prefer to, go somewhere else. But she's not a deputy minister in this government. No one know why we are 20 months in. There is no head, no tail to where this government is taking us.
Great.
I disagree, though. The
Dr.
government
Moody,
taking us somewhere.
It doesn't matter to me. You can disagree all you want. I don't. It doesn't matter.
Aliu, I think you need to pay your light bill. They just cut your light, your dog. You in Monrovia. Please go put money in your
Go be your
Okay, let me do that. Let me do that right now.
I disagree with you.
Dr. Moody, a few years ago, I was fortunate enough to have gotten some money from the Rockefeller Foundation. I think it was like $1 million grant to build a school, to expand all my stuff. And I went to the city here with the plan. And they summoned me to meet with the planning department. When I got to the planning department, the director and 3 other deputies were there. And another man introduced himself as a deputy, his deputy or assistant, whatever his name was. He has a degree in engineering. And then another one said they had a degree in architecture, landscape architecture. These are the kind of people that were on our city planning board, that I was facing. These are folks who are specialized in specific areas of development. So when the people call these titles in Liberia, sometimes the title is impressive, but then you find out that it looks like they may have just cut and paste from the United States stuff and put it there without the corresponding ingredient. Your take on the event?
But I think my reading of this is a bit different to Aliu's or Mr. Lange's, right? Because first of all, I've had a look a few times on my phone just to try and understand the title, because you guys keep saying, sorry, my panelists, fellow panelists is saying planning, urban planning. The title says urban affairs. Now, planning and affairs are 2 different things. Planning, then yes, the arguments that have been put forward will be logical in my opinion, because then yes, she has to be able to have the expertise to plan. But if it's urban affairs, then I think her social work background is useful, right? So if you look at like urban affairs, you're talking about the population. You're not talking about the actual design of cities, right? Now, obviously, you can advocate for better design if, in the course of her work, in trying to help, say, for example, poor people in West Point who were contracting illnesses that might be attributed to the way that the West Point is structured, then yes, she can then talk to whomever has the a degree or the expertise in planning at Ministry of Public Works, at City Hall, to say, hey, we need to plan these places better because the research that we've done, and again, she can outsource the research to someone with the expertise to do the research on the structure. But my reading of the title is urban affairs, which means she's there to cater to urban, people living in urban spaces, right? And much wider things than planning. I don't think planning is in the title. That's my reading of it, right? Because it doesn't say urban affairs and planning, what I've read, right? Unless what I'm reading in Front Page Africa and the other newspapers in Liberia is wrong, or they've dropped the planning. I don't see any planning in that. Hence, the Ministry of Internal Affairs doesn't have the mandate to plan cities and roads and infrastructure in Liberia. That's public works, right? That's the Ministry of Public Works' job to plan infrastructure. So I don't believe that, again, based on my reading, and I want to stress that based on what I've read, right? That's not what I'm taking away from it. Having said that, I think the issue here, or the other issue that we need to look at is, yes, I agree that she was very arrogant because she felt that, look, the president is her dad. He's appointed her because she is someone who has supported him over the years, which also tells us a story about our country, that almost everybody has to work in the public sector, right? That's the biggest employer in Liberia. And instead of presidents coming in and trying to give life to the private sector to absorb some of these loyalists, they keep bringing them in government. The president came to power and sacked, I think, from EPS about 300 or so people because he said the wage bill was so bloated, right? But we know that even after sending all these people home, the wage bill that they put forward was higher than the one that had the thousands and thousands that they sent home on. Right now, he's bringing more and more of his loyalists into government, doing the exact same thing that CDC was accused of doing. I think the fact that she admitted, again, when we talk about responsibilities, what is the president responsible? Well, every president before him has appointed people who didn't have qualifications for the roles that they've appointed them. Is it a good thing? I don't believe so, but it's a political appointment. So the president they serve at the will and pleasure of the president. He or she has the right to appoint whomever they want to appoint, as long as the president does the job. I believe in this instance, I will lay the responsibility or my accusation at the feet of the Senate, because the Senate or the legislature is the first branch of our government, right? They have a right, they have a responsibility to represent the interests of the Liberian people. They should go there. Each of these 30 senators have urban centers in their counties. Each of them have urban centers in their counties. By 2050, about 70% of the world's population will be living in urban centers. So putting the right social services in place, putting the right opportunities for jobs in place, putting the right access to education and healthcare in place in urban centers are very important. So you need to make sure as a senator from River G, for example, where you have, I don't know what is River G City or Fishtown, where you have Fishtown, which is in the context of Liberian Urban Center, that, these people living in my urban center, are they going to be served best by this nomination? And we don't believe that, and some of my panelists as well don't believe that she would serve them better. So then they should then reject that. Because again, it has to be, is she best for the people that I serve? And for her to then admit that she lied to them the first time, and the Senate still went ahead and confirmed her, that is from, look, because again, you guys talked about what's this gentleman that was appointed by President Weir to the National Elections Commission, and he was rejected by the Senate. Right? He was rejected by the Senate because that's what the Senate is supposed to do. Because the Senate did not believe that he was going to serve the interests of the Liberian people, which is why they're there. That's why the Constitution was written in the way it's written, for them to advise and consent to the president's appointments. They negated their responsibility to advise and consent. The president and every president, even here in the UK, the prime minister appoints people again. And the reason why I'm not pushing back on her qualification is because the country I live in, you have someone who will be appointed by a prime minister to head the treasury. 6 months later, the reshuffle the government, that person goes to head the home office, which is like the immigration affairs. 6 months later, the reshuffle, that same person gone to foreign office. You're like, whoa, the person got 1 degree in politics, in political science. How are they able to run the treasury, which is like finance minister, and then run home office, which is like our immigration system, and then run foreign affairs? That don't make sense. But it happens here in the UK, so I can't question that she's a social worker and she's run. I can see the link. I can see why I would appoint her to that role, because as a social worker, you're there to help people. I'm about to land, Thomas, here. As a social worker, you're there to help people. And I think urban affairs, in my reading of it, is about helping people living in urban centers. And I think she can do the job, but the way that she's come into it is not the right way.
Let me go to Mr. Honorable Connor. I want you to end on this real quick because he brought up the subject of planning versus affairs. And I was just able to pull it up here real quick. It says here, urban affairs versus urban planning. They are closely related fields of study and practice. Both focus on understanding and shaping cities and communities, though they approach the subject slightly differently. Urban planning is practical in nature. Urban affair on a broader scale is more academic and multidisciplinary academic field examining the broader social structure, economic, and architecture. So affairs is even bigger. Yes, bigger is affairs is even bigger. So, Dr. Booty, what you are saying, if it is affairs, it's even bigger than planning. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So I just want to. So that's the academic definition that you are giving. In the context of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the current structure of the Ministry of Internal Affairs has 4 departments. They have a Department of Administration that has a deputy minister. They have a Department of Operations that has a deputy minister. So all of the issue of supervision of the counties, the fuel they use and all of that, their operation is under that deputy minister for operation. Then they have a deputy minister for research and planning. But that research and planning in the Ministry of Internal Affairs is more related to research broadly around the work that Internal Affairs does, and to plan for the ministry. The Department of Urban Affairs happen to cover urban planning. This is why the units that are under that deputy minister, all of the engineers that work in the Ministry of Internal Affairs work under that Department of Urban Affairs. So just in line with the academic definition that you have given, that urban affair is broad enough to be able to cover the planning of the city, the social welfare services that need to be in the city. All of that falls under that deputy minister. So planning is not extracted from there, even though we have a deputy minister for research and planning. And like I was saying, in the new ministry that will be created, now they've actually merged the two. So they've brought planning and research and urban development together. To Dr. Booty's point, I almost mentioned this point. The UK is one place where you see people move from one ministry to the other. But in the UK, there is this course they call PPE. I think it's politics, philosophy, and economics. So many of the prime ministers in the UK, they did PPE. Many of the ministers, high-level ones, they did PPE. So that's why you can see them move from the treasury.
I would like to see the data to back that, right?
No. Go to Gordon Brown. Go to the former prime minister. What was his name? The one that left before Boris Johnson came. Many of them.
But my point wasn't on, I didn't mention prime ministers. I mentioned heads of departments, right?
I'm saying to you,
if you're saying that in the UK that all of these ministers do this PPE course, I want to see the data that you think. That's all I'm saying to you.
What I'm saying to you is that even if you go below the prime minister, many of those guys who are serving as ministers, they are schoolmates of these prime ministers. I'm saying to you, many of the top people who you see go to Treasury and then go to other ministries is because their course is in philosophy, politics, and economics. So if they go to Treasury, they are able to play a role there. If they go to the Ministry of Interior, they are able to play a role there. What I'm saying to you is that because of that culture that they have, they can move people around. But for us, people do these technical degrees, and therefore the expectation is that what you read will send you to go and do it. And so if you take someone with social work, of course, they are able to address issues with social services and all of that. But the condition that we are in, you just mentioned the statistics on people living in urban area. In Liberia right now, 54 point some more, I think 54.4% of our population is now living in urban area. And we're not only talking about Monrovia, Ganta is growing, Kakata is growing, Bikiana is growing, and all of them are now playing simply because that ministry, that department at the Ministry of Internal Affairs is not doing what it needs to do.
Urban affairs, urban planning, you still got a plan. No, 1 minute. You buddy. Urban affair, urban planning, you have to plan. If you want structure, West Point, you gotta plan something. You gotta sit down and do all kind of case studies. You gotta do all that. We are saying she's not there.
No,
well,
you don't. Can I have a 30 seconds, please, to respond?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, let me just give you an example, right? So our current Home Secretary, Shibana Mahmood, did law, right? She didn't do politics. She didn't do PPE or whatever it is that you're calling, because that's why I said, please provide a statistic, because I follow UK politics and I've not seen any of this PPE in any of the credentials of ministers of government. Again, like I said, you've seen that statistic somewhere. Share it with me, please, right? Because obviously, when we see things on here, you need to be supporting it by facts. So if you've seen this somewhere, please share it with me. 1 minute, Mr. Don't interrupt.
Yeah, but finish now. You're bringing it too long.
No. I said 30 seconds, please. Ali, I know we can beat up to this part serious. Don't
no, but you're repeating the same thing.
Can you not interrupt me, please?
Go ahead now. Hurry up.
Yeah, you're not hosting the show. Let me finish, please. Don't interrupt me. That's rude. All right? Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is, if you have that data, please share it with me. At the end of the day, what you're saying there is, when in the UK structure is different, but it can be applied to Liberia. When you're head of department, you have people in various places within the department that will do those kind of technical work. So if she needs to plan structure for, if you're saying, again, obviously maybe you've seen the data, like I said, based on what I've read, right? My reading of it is based on what I read. You've read something else and you say, oh, no, she has to plan city structures. That's fine. So she will have individuals within her department, the assistant minister, the directors, and the other technicians in that department that can do the plan. She don't have to go stay on the street and be drawing line a day herself. That's why she's there to supervise. She's more of a supervisor, right, of that department. That's why I don't have an issue with her qualification. As long as she can go there and supervise people, I'm fine with it, because it happens in the country that I live in. That's what I'm saying. But if you can share that PPE statistic with me, I would like to see.
Okay, listen, 1 second now, listen to me. I'm not going to the old government, the current one you have. Your Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, she read PPE at Oxford. Your Foreign Secretary appointed September 2025, I think Yvette Cooper, she read PPE at Baylor College, Oxford. Ed Miliband, who is the Secretary of State for Energy and Security and Net Zero, he did BA in PPE at Corpus Christi, Oxford. I'm not just speaking because I want to speak. Maybe you're in the
said
UK,
share with me. You're just repeating something. You've not shared the data. My brother, we're in the same group chat. Just send the thing to me so I can see it myself.
Yeah, but,
okay, I'll post it in the group chat,
but I want the public to hear. Make sure it's correct, right? If you go on WikiLeaks or Wikipedia or wherever it is, that doesn't give you evidence that's not factual evidence. That's why I said share with me. I can verify the evidence myself.
No, if you challenge me on the show, I want to say something for the public to hear it. I will share it with you so you can go and check their profile. Yeah.
Oh, please.
Mr. Given, 1 minute. Let's not waste too much time.
Let's see, sir. We're moving on.
No, but I want 30 seconds. No. I want 30 seconds. I gotta get 30 seconds.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
These are some of the things that can frustrate the audience. That man show me one person in the British government who is a very high up individual who you just took from somewhere in somewhere they made a deputy secretary or deputy minister in Great Britain who did not go through the rank and file? Show me one in Great Britain that you know of.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are. We are saying.
Give me the statistics.
I understand. We are looking at what Thomas is saying here.
It need to make sense.
What Thomas is saying here is these people, most of the folks that come into government in the West, these people come in from either the private sector where they have done a lot of these things. So it's quite the opposite. In Liberia, we have a shell. There's nothing there. Excuse me. And let me drink my little king juice.
Before you make somebody chief of staff, they gotta be in the military before.
Yeah. Let's look at. Anyway, if you are the Eagle fan, you are up 14-0. We understand the Eagle.
My man, that's supposed to be my area. That's my area right now.
Everybody got an area. Don't worry about it.
For Dallas right now.
Okay, guys, let's go to the next. Let's go to number 2 here. Liberian government gave CMC the green light. Now let's look at what Honorable Namwe, can you give us the background as to this CMC, this fight between the government of Liberia and Musa Ability?
Yeah. I'm unmuted. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Gimmy. I'll be as brief as possible. Look, there is a felt need all around this country. You know, our people, communities are suffering. And so we have a CMC member in Bong now who happens to have been a member of the House of Representatives, Josiah Marvin Cole of district number 2 or 3. He's our deputy, he is vice chair for operations. So his community people came to him and told him they needed help with his bridge. And so before he joined the CMC, it was one of the things he and Musa Ability talked about. I mean, I myself, as one of the things I talked to Musa Ability about to help me in the southeast where I'm from, we still don't have a road. So we have several reasons why some of us are supporting, the CMC besides the national agenda. Anyway, so these people came to him and asked to see if the CMC could help to build a bridge. And the CMC went there and took a look and told them, yes, we'll build a bridge. So truth be told, we developed our plans without submitting them to the Ministry of Public Works. And so when they came in and they told us we should halt the project and submit our plans, we did. When we submitted our plans, the minister got back to us, and without saying anything about the plans that we submitted, they told us, oh, well, we're already going to build that bridge anyway. It's on the table for us. So you guys, you should thank you, but no thanks. So we said, okay, we're going to move elsewhere. We're getting ready to move to Bassa and, the southeast. But then the community residents became very annoyed, and they decided they would not be quiet about it. And so they raised a lot of contention with the government and told Marvin Cole to go to the government and tell them they want their bridge and they don't want the government to build a bridge. They want the CMC to build a bridge. Why? Because they've seen how efficient and very, very fast the CMC reacts to this problem. We have bridges built in in Nimba and other parts of the country. And so they started agitating. I know Thomas is laughing. I know he's just... They started agitating. And so we were getting ready to pack our stuff. Actually, we were reading Representative Marvin Cole and told him within the week after we were waiting, and told him within a week, because some of the materials are out in the elements, the cement and all of that, we're going to redeploy the material somewhere else. But then there were a lot of behind the scenes conversations. The vice president and other people we understand got involved. And the short side of the long story is that the Ministry of Public Works wrote us a letter in November, which is dated for October 19th, to tell you that Giddens may have already decided that we should go ahead and build a bridge, but apparently he was under pressure from other sources, such as Prince Moi and other people who we understand, got interest in this bridge because it's making them to look bad. Senator Moi has been in the House. He was Ways and Means Chairman in the House of Representatives. He was Deputy Speaker in the House of Representatives. He is now Ways and Means Chairman in the Senate. He's done nothing for these people. And he's embarrassed and decided he's going to rubbish our process and throw all kinds of false allegations at the CMC. So to conclude, the government reversed The Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry of Public Works has written us. Not only have they given us permission, they're begging us to build one more bridge. And not only has Senator Moy also capitulated, he's begging us to build 4 more bridges in his district, in his county. And the CMC has committed to doing all of that. This is the case we have on our hands. So our bridge, we had, based on our assessment, was going to cost us around, $450,000. The government came back, they said we must build it for $1.3 million. Why? First of all, when you go to the government and carry your assessment, they're not supposed to give you price. When you're building your house, you go to Polar, they just tell you we got to do, we got to do various tests here and there. They don't tell you how much to build your house for. So we told them, no, we're not going to do it. They came back again. Oh, we made a mistake. So anyway, the final price now is around $518,000. So that is it. We're going to build a bridge.
Great. Honorable Eastman.
Yeah.
Here it says on Capitol Hill, the government on Tuesday revealed a $1.3 million engineering plan for the long-awaited Jaw River Bridge in Bond County, sparking immediate political backlash and causing the citizens' movement for change to abandon its own bridge project, accusing Public Minister Roland Lafayette Gidding of inflating the cost and disrupting the community-led development. This is what we are talking about here. The folks are concerned if the minister says they had a plan to build this bridge and they have allocated $1.3 million to build this bridge. And if CMC wants to build a bridge, CMC should cough up $1.3 million. And the CMC folks said, nope, this is extortion. We are not going to do that. And we're back to square one.
Yeah, there's some legitimate concerns here. We know that any structure like that for public safety has to go through regulatory compliance. And the Ministry of Public Works is the chief department responsible for approving buildings and bridges and all of that. Okay, so that's part of it, but there's some other procedural and development urgency. On one hand, the communities want to welcome the infrastructure improvement and see CMC's action as meeting an urgent need. But on the other hand, the regulatory body argues that by bypassing oversight could jeopardize safety, quality, and fiscal accountability. So when that bridge, if something happens in that bridge in a couple of years, you would not hold CMC. You would say, well, why Public Works allow that sort of thing go? They are the authority. They are clothed with authority to approve these things. And then lastly, there's a political dimension of this whole thing, and patronage concerns. Okay, some of the criticism is that, given the involvement of politically prominent actor like Musa Beledi and a large sum of money, about $500,000, the project has been spun into a political symbol rather than purely a community infrastructure effort. So now it's become a political. Critics argue that the government halting it might be politicized. So we got a couple of things going here now. So we the public, or this our court of public opinion, how should we weigh on this? Should we weigh on the side of public safety and that the Public Works clothed with authority to approve should act the way they do, or should we be sympathetic toward the this? What we need to do now, since this we have a precedent now, going forward, we need to have a method where if somebody like the CMC or another benefactor, somebody who has enough money to build infrastructure, let them show us the procedure, and let them not deviate from that procedure going forward. You see, when you have a precedent like this is when you set up rules and policies. And not simply smoosh over and say, okay, y'all do this. No. It's time to establish binding rules and policies that everybody will know it. It's new, but all we have to do is develop a procedure for this, and we'll not have to do it again. But I think it's very important. Not every day we will see somebody like Musa Belede come around, but he has come around, and this is time to set the policy. So how will we be treating these things? And if we do that, then we wouldn't have this occur again. And I think that's where we miss the ball when we don't set up a policy. When we see something occurs, then we don't really establish a rule going forward. That's what civilized countries do. When this thing happens, okay, from now on, the rule how we will behave if this thing should happen again. And I think this is an opportunity to learn from it and to set rules in place.
Great. Mr. Kamara,
Yes, sir.
in these United States, for you to even dig in the ground, right? If you want to pull a pole, they will tell you got to call utility first so to make sure, you're not damaging any of the, the cables and all that stuff. I think the problem we are having in Liberia is this selective application of the law. You cannot say to CMC, you cannot build a bridge because you don't have all the technicalities and everything else. Then on the same hand, they ask you, but who building this? The $10 million complex in 4 years. You say, we don't know about it, but it's just building. So you see people are saying now that this is selective application of the law.
Okay, Mr. Gilman, thank you very much for your apples and oranges comparison. But let's give kudos to Mr. Eastman actually for such a fair way of looking at this thing. For me, I don't just come here to just batch or support blindly just because I have a concept or preconceived, understanding of things.
Like who? Who come here to support blindly?
No, but man,
I can't, man. You're talking to Kana. You gotta be objective.
You understand what I'm saying?
I didn't talk to me. I think that was very objective. You all come at me.
But I gotta side with Kamara on the one. You guilty? You guilty? The man call you. Aliu, you didn't call nobody name. The man came for no. I didn't do it. So maybe we need to frisk him.
They asking ugly people to get out of the room. Then Babu stand and say, "Man, not ugly, but who call your name?" But anyway, the minister of public works was very clear. He's not running a political ministry. He's running a technical ministry. The laws are on the books. In order to do anything that belongs to the public, particularly so, you must go to public works for clearance. Musa Belede got 32 million. He got his boy behind him. They just go back, they put bridge down. They go to Nima, they put bridge down. There are specific, specification for these things. You don't just do that. So when the government try to do what is appropriate, what Musa Belede and them did, they pushed the public against the government. And the man was clear. He said, anybody who wants to do a project in this country, especially with this kind of gravity, you have to come to us. We'll do the verification. We have our own specifications, and we will tell you if you meet those requirements, we will allow you to build the bridge. But all of those political thought, they're begging us to build this, they're begging us to do that. They came back and they begged us. Let Mr. What's that?
Sorry.
What's that?
Why can I call you?
It's not from you.
Oh.
Let Mr. Nangwe come out and show a document where the ministry kind of capitulated or succumbed to them. They had to meet the ministry's requirement. And they finally met it. Instead of them go back to the public and say, you know what, we made a mistake. We did not go for the government. We're taking matters into our own hands because we got 32 million. Now that they brought us to the table, we were able to conform with the rules that they have, and therefore they have allowed us. They're not going to go back and clear the government's name. They're going to try to do all kinds of stuff. Oh, the vice president against, first he said the vice president was against him. Now he changed it again, Prince Moi is against him. Everybody's against you. Why? This is a government ability. If the government want to take you down, it wouldn't take weeks. They have everything on paper that they can use legally to get you. That is not their focus. So all you got to do in order to be successful at what you do, you need to cooperate. You can be the best employee at any agency. If you don't have good interpersonal relations, they kick you out of there because you can't just be going around making grammar all day. And that's the problem with you guys, self-imposed party chairman, political leader. You have to follow rules. 32 million is a drop in the bucket when it comes to the government. You can't challenge government with 32 million. You talk to your man to come down, work with the government, especially on government projects, because you and I know, Nangwe, you, me, Mr. Gamer, know. Most of the care we election 2039. You know that, we all know that. Then come down and stop all of this grumble.
No, don't
and go to your southeast and pay your brief for you. After that, you go back to UPP. But most of them know you're not winning nothing.
No.
You understand? So
that assertion is business. We have precedent to go by. We won overwhelmingly in district number 7. Go and see Nimba County.
District number 7.
Let me go to Ms. Honorable Cannon. This is one of those things where, you know, when politicians love stuff like this, we're talking about other things. The ministry said that they have appropriated or allocated $1.3 million to build this bridge because that's what it's going to cost. So if they have done their homework and said that $1.3 million is what is required to build this bridge, how then they agree for the bridge to be built at the price that—
Let's see the agreement.
Mr. Cannon, how is that possible? From $1.3 million, if the bridge to be solid and meet all the safety requirements, how did they compromise to come back down to $450?
It looks more like last price, right?
Yeah, right.
You know, when you go buy something for it, they say 150. They say, what the last price?
You see, you can say all that thing because you're not in Liberia. You in the comfort Ethiopia, so you can say you were in Monroe, but now they chasing you around.
We got worse in Monrovia. Nothing happening to them.
We call it the Jaw River banjo. That banjo.
No, it's a little confusing to me because if you look at the letter that the Ministry of Public Works wrote to the CMC, the first response, the list of studies that are in that response, a geological study, a geothermal study, all type of studies that has to be completed before you get built. before you can build a bridge. So I'm now asking myself, are those studies no longer necessary?
No,
it's just to go ahead and build a bridge. And I was laughing when Mr. Nangwe was speaking. He said that people know the speed at which we can build a bridge. And I'm saying to myself, the speed at which you build a bridge, it will be the same speed at which those bridges will break down.
No, Thomas. We got bridges we have built right now, and they're still standing.
No, but to be very frank with you, the problem we got with our institutions in Liberia is there are rules and regulations on the book, but they don't enforce them. I was listening to the Public Works Minister, I think, a few days on one of the shows, and he said it is not only the CMC, for instance. He said they are now reaching out to even the government ministries and agencies, even the concession companies that we got in Liberia. You know, some of these concession companies are building schools, they are building clinics, they are building roads, they are building bridges. So he said the ministry has written all of them to say if you want to do any work that is related to engineering, you have to come to the ministry for clearance. The rules are already there, the laws are already there, the policies are there. But after many years, we just seem to forget about them. And so people can do anything that they want to do. Even the construction, before you build any structure in Monrovia, for instance, you have to go to public works. They have to come and test the ground. What kind of structure can you put out there? If you want to build an upstairs building, is the ground solid enough for you to put that structure there? But the ministry has not been enforcing it, and therefore people happen to have been doing whatever they wanted to do.
But Mr.
But it seems to
Canado, if I may just, I'm sorry, but the problem has never been that our plans are deficient or whatever. I said it the first time, yes, we did not submit a plan. But when they called for the plan, we submitted the plan. But the reason why they stopped us was not based on the plan that we submitted. They're saying they had money in the budget anyway, that they were going to build a bridge anyway. They had the money, and there's no money in this budget. That's a lie. The previous budget has no money in it. The current budget has no money in it. So they're stopping us on a false assertion. It's not because of it's not because we didn't meet the requirement for the specs that are required to build that bridge. That's not why they were stopping us. They say they're going to build a bridge. We should leave it alone.
Right. They said they were going to build a bridge. It wasn't the case that if you go to the national budget, the budget is not detailed to that extent. Any money that is given to the Ministry of Public Works, they can decide to build any bridge with it. So you cannot argue with the Ministry of Public Works that we've checked in the budget and we did not see this particular bridge. If they are giving $40 million, they can say we are going to build a bridge. But I think their point was that they were going to put money in the 2026 budget.
But we got a text message from Senator Moe to Marvin Cole telling we didn't get no money in the bridge, in the budget for the bridge. We got screenshot of the text message.
Okay, granted. I will stop here. And the Palava over now, they say I'm going to build a bridge. We'll go for the opening of the bridge. It's over.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is. I mean, I'm watching the game. I'm watching all the games here, and I'm having a great time. It looks like the Dallas Cowboys are having a tough time here, but it's all right. Yesterday, my Chelsea did win. We had a great game yesterday. Those of you who are in the English Premier League, if you are a Chelsea fan, you should be happy. If you are a Liverpool fan, yesterday was rough. It was
so,
rough.
What stages are you guys? Are you in the playoff now, or what stage are you in? Qualifying rounds or what?
Ain't no playoffs, man.
Are you going to give me a go on this bridge topic, or are we going to football topic now?
Listen, you know you need a bridge. You need the bridge to cross over.
I just did a bridge to cross over on this side, right?
Go ahead, Dr. Booty. Listen, you got to be fair in the developed countries, right? You can't even dig. Like here behind my house, I can't even dig without calling the folks to ask, whether they had cables running there and order that they had to give it to you. The problem they're having in Liberia is these things are so selectively done that people, every time you want to apply it now, people say you're doing this because you don't. When you don't like me, then you apply the rules straight. You just go ahead, your take on it.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna say something first, and then before I answer your question, because you took the word I was going to use just out of my mouth. Right?
Go ahead.
But I think, I've sent a couple of sites links that you can share with Mr. Kane in terms of the argument we had earlier. Right. So the Labour Party lists all of its cabinet secretaries. There's 22 of them, and then King's College London did a research recently. And King's College London is ranked 6th in the world for research excellence. So you trust what they produce. Only 4 out of 22 have done PPE, right? Only 4 secretaries out of 20. That's 18%. 40% of them are politicians, so they read politics. Another 20% are historians, they read history. So only 4 out of 22. So the statement you were making, and that's why I said, show me the statistics to back that in the UK, most of them do PPE. That's not true. All right. So anyway, the data is there for you to read when you find out. On this issue, Mr. Gayman, you took the word out of my mouth. So Thomas said, "Oh, the rules are not implemented," and I wrote selective implementation. That's what I wrote down: selective implementation, and that's the problem we have across our country. In the UK or in any country that follows rules, private citizens can't just go around building public infrastructure, right? That's the job of the government. That's why we pay taxes.
You can't even dig in your own yard.
Exactly. Even you want to do something with your house. If I want to extend anything on my house, then you have to go to the local council to get permission. They have to send someone here to come and do an assessment. They have to speak to your neighbors first. That, oh, is this thing going to block the sunlight from coming into your house? How is it going to affect your ability to use your backyard? So look, I care a lot and about Mr. Ability. I think he has a lot of good ideas and he can do a lot of good things for Liberia if he was given the opportunity. And obviously that is an argument and conversation to be had on a different day. But I believe that his push should not be to go around building bridges and building public infrastructure, but arguing and pushing this government to deliver on the promises it made to the Liberian people, right? So that we can ask Aliyu and them the hard questions. Like, look, you say you were going to build a bridge. Why are you not building the bridge? You say you were going to build roads. Where are the roads? I think that's a better use of his time and the effort that he should be making. Again, our country is a completely unique country, and people are allowed. You know, Mr. Nangbe can go to his village and just build bridge and nobody will ask him questions. So, but because he's a politician and he is a threat to the establishment, yes, they were going to make it difficult for him, and hence, Aliyu then have decided that they will implement this rule to the letter. Let's see what he does with the construction of the bridge. I believe it will be a good bridge. I disagree with Thomas on that. I think, you know, again, from my interactions with him, it doesn't seem like someone who go build something that after 2 weeks it gone. You know, I don't think he's that kind of person. So good luck to him, and we hope he continue to push. But I think there are better ways to do it than just building public infrastructure. Then government will just sit down there and I say, oh, but given when you come and go build bridging Game Paso County too.
Great.
You know, Mr. Dr. Booty, while I agree with you in one aspect, the Liberian political mind is different. This sort of thing can have an impact on some voters. You know, you see the man build our bridge, and that would take him all the way to the ballot box. You know, it may be a strategy. I have
to say though, Jimmy, why I'm not disagreeing with you, but look, I understand the rules, but the rules are there. The ministry has appealed to also build another bridge. So what do you say about that? If you say it's not a job of the
that's the appeal.
My man, let me talk. Start interrupting me. They have asked us, the Ministry of Public Works has asked us to build one more bridge. Senator Moi has asked us to build 4 more bridges. So what does that say about our ability? It has nothing to do with, and I understand the argument. The political parties are not supposed to do that, but if you have a government that is derelict, is not performing its duty, are we going to let the people suffer because we're waiting for government to come and do it? They've been there. You know how many people have died in that Jaw River? The people brought photos of their children that have been falling in that river. Ugly river with a big tree on top of the river. Trying to put holding stay and crossing, and as soon as you slip, you're gone. And we say,
30 seconds.
Honorable Eastman.
30 seconds, quick.
No,
what does Musa Building know about the Jaw River? Musa Building was Igno, with Amos Sawyer. You're making money. You not know that people are dying there. Musa Building was Ellie for 12 years. You not know nothing about that bridge. Musa Building was hanging with Jawia recently. You not know nothing about that bridge. The time Musa Building want to be president. The time Musa Building want to be president. I tell you know about the bridge.
He was not in politics then.
What's wrong with that? Yeah, real quick.
Let me help Mr. Nangbe here, right? When someone has seen injustice for years, they get more interested in finding out more of what is going on. He has now gone, now that he has the interest to address injustice, he has now gone across the country. He is now seen, before he was just into his business. But again, I lived in Liberia for a period of time, 2010 to 2012, right? And I was minding my own business. I was working for a bank there, traveling around the country. And as you travel around, you see these things. And any decent human being, you can't just sit down and say, no, I won't do. So yes, the interest is now there. And all of us who go to like Mr. Game and if we act Mr. Kane, Mr. Eastman and Mr. Dangwe, when we go home, we visit things, we try and ask questions and we support as best as we can. So now he has the interest. Yes, it's not just because he won't be president. Right? I don't believe anyway. That's my opinion. I don't believe it's because he won't be president. I think now he has the interest. He's done his research. He has now identified areas where he can support to help people.
Honorable Eastman,
Yeah.
My birthplace in Grand Bassa County, my great grandparents, they had asked when LAC and LAMCO moved to Liberia, they say in the 50s, they had asked the government and LAC to build our road to our town where I was born. Since the 50s, it has not happened. So last year, I was able to source some money and I built that road. It's a private road, but I built it to my village. Will this government come after me and say you violated law by building? There were no breaches. It just, the guys.
Say you grill the road, man. They're gonna grill you build. Say you grill the road.
They brought those D9 machines and they knocked down a few trees and they brought a grater and grated through it. I think it's 2 miles. Am I breaking any law?
Good question. And
it's not exactly Lavia Guinness did, but go ahead, Jimmy. That's why he did it. Doing that.
Making clearances for the road and gridding the road, like Alio said, is one thing. But when you're going to erect an engineering structure that will require some complex structural analysis to make sure it's sound and safe for the public, that will entail other things as well. Okay, so I don't know, we're comparing apples and oranges here, but if it's something that's going to easily can impact the public safety, then it definitely it has to be up to snuff. Okay, but here's what I want to say. I think more of people, citizens like you, that was a very noble effort. I gotta commend you on that. Okay, citizens like that, especially we in the diaspora, if we do that more, we'll see our country progressing. So I know they won't discourage stuff like that. I just think that this CMC thing with Public Works, it is because of the political influence of Mr. Ability. And I think they're going to have to reckon with that, because I want to tell you, people who have money can influence the political arena, and it's not abnormal. Of course, they can shut you down. I remember with Nigeria and Abiola, they ended up arresting him though. So we're about to see a lot take place here, but we shouldn't be surprised that Musa Ability can wield this much influence if he has significant money. Whereas Mr. Cummings didn't go about it this way. And your understanding of the local politics is very important here. You know, how you spend your money, because there's certain things that you may spend much less but have greater impact when you understand the local politics of the people there. And maybe so Mr. Musa tactics are completely different than that of, I know somebody was comparing Cummings, but you see Mr. Musa, Honorable Musa tactics are different. Honorable Musa went through, first of all, he said he went and made sure he got elected to the honorable body, the body representative. Alex did not want to do that. And in certain circles, a lot of people question, why don't you want to do that? Because you need to familiarize yourself with the politics at hand, with the people, so they know what you can do and who you are. Give yourself a chance to mature into Liberian politics. It's different. But he went on a different route. So I don't think they're charting the same course, but we want to see more of that. Okay, I think we all ought to give you a clap. Thank you for developing our county. We need more people like you to do that.
Money. You bring your money, you put it there. We want it.
Good. On Okana, let me start with you on this one. A few weeks ago, the president and the public works, the Ministry of Transportation, they brought in some buses. They put the president on the bus. He was riding around, waving, and Some people started booing him. And then something happened. 3 days, 4 days after the bus was on the road, the bus broke down. One of the new buses broke down and the children were pushing it. So there are two things that I want you to address here. One, the old age thing of when the president's coming, they're taking all the students from the school, suspend school for the kids to line up to cheer the president on. It is still going on in this case. And it so happened that even one of the presidential escort car got into an accident, killing people and all that. It's 3 into 1 now. The bus thing that we brought in, the bus was to alleviate the problem. The bus broke down in 1 week. And then we taking students from schools to line up the street thing that we did during Tubman time, Tauber time, Ellie time, Joia time. We still doing the same thing, kind of.
Which specific bus broke down? Is it the one the president was riding in?
No, not a particular one, but the new buses that came in, one of them broke down when they went to Banga.
Oh, okay. I mean, that would be surprising, right? Because I think what I have heard from the National Transit Authority is that these are new buses. And this is not the previous ones that we used to get from India, where India just used to give us 10 buses, 15 buses. And many of the ones that India used to give us are old ones. I went to school in India. I was there for 2 years. You know, sometimes when we used to leave campus, we are going on trips. We used to see the buses and we used to make fun and say, you know what, the buses are here, and then they will pick few of it and send it to Liberia. It will be a gift for us. My understanding is that these are new. They are branded. That's why you see the NTA rating on them. And so for one of them to break down is a bit surprising. But again, these are, I mean, this can happen to any, maybe it has a factory fault. Maybe there's a problem with the engine. So I don't think we should be overly alarmed of this. So if they have like 10, 15 and one has broken down and they have the ability to repair it, they will repair it and they will get back on the road. So I don't think we should make a deal out of this. On the issue of students welcoming presidents, I think, like you said, there are things we just find difficult to move away from. One is the issue of when the president is leaving and coming out of the country. I think we've discussed this on previous show where all of the cabinet ministers who have to go see the president off. The president is coming back again. They have to go and welcome the president. It's the same with this issue of bringing students out. I don't know what exactly the message that people want to send. Is it that the students should come and see their president? Or is it that because you can't get a huge crowd to come and welcome the president and therefore you go and get students? But it certainly does have impact on the time that they need to spend in classroom. So I think these are practices that we need to move past.
Let me go to Aliu. You and I went to school in Liberia. We did this. They will have us stay in the sun.
Are you sure Aliu went to? I thought Aliu said he went to school in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, but they do the same thing in Sierra Leone. That Sierra Leone practice we borrow. Aliu, the president will arrive by maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the evening, and they have us standing in there since 7 o'clock, just waiting. I mean, why these modern days these people are still doing this? I mean, can you imagine when I was school, the students are way behind, then you suspend school for the whole day and the kids are just in the street. What's going on here, Aliu?
Okay, so let's straighten certain things here because I think you deliberately trying to do their bad politics that you always do. One, no bus broke down. Bus got stuck. Didn't break down. There's a difference between breaking down and getting stuck. Another thing.
You want me to play the video?
But you see the video. Look at it. Play. The bus didn't break down.
Where the suspension on one of the buses broke and was leaning like the driver.
Well, come on, man.
I didn't see that clip.
No, you didn't see that clip. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can't show it. The bus got stuck. It didn't break down. There's a difference. Another thing, What you and I saw back in the day, what we refer to as normal day, is when we were in the counties. Like for instance, when we were in Langolepe, back in the 80s, down there, the president is coming to greet the students of Kakata. Then they call the students out.
What?
The student, I'm telling you what happened, what I know. When I was attending in Monrovia,
No, you didn't go to school in Liberia. You are lying. You didn't go
yeah,
to
okay, let me finish now. Let me just finish. You can stick with what you want to stick with, but let me just finish this. All right. Now, in Monrovia, there was no time where they were passing from the marshal to go to Oro, and all the Haywood students were put outside to come see Doe. That's not how it worked, unless it was an occasion that had to do with Doe. I remember one time we had to go to BWI auditorium because Samuel Doe was coming there to greet the students, and he came there, and it was an elaborate program. But there was no time where every time Doe passing through Margaret County to go to the Nima County, that all the students would go land on the road. We never had that, and it didn't happen recently in Liberia under Joseph Numa Baka. At no time that they collected all students and said, Joseph Baka passes, you can go stay on the road. Stop it, Mr. Gimme.
Mr. Nambe, let me read this to you. This is Selma Lomax, November 22nd, 2025, from Bond County. He says, educational activities were brought to a standstill across Banga on Friday after the Ministry of Education of Bond County offered reportedly ordered schools to suspend classes and assemble students along the major route to welcome the president.
The president, I want to see them. That's what I just said. The president going to them. This was specifically from the Ministry of Education. It's not a requirement that we all stood outside to see those.
Victor, this man is, I think he got truth deranged syndrome.
Yeah, my brain I have there.
You go ahead, Victor.
So the president trip was in Banga was not to see the students. He did not go to see the students. They ordered the student to line the street and wave to the president and greet him. That's why.
Who ordered them? The president or the Minister of Education?
Just read it. The Minister of Education. In
Oh.
The Minister of Education had a reason for doing that. You can't just take one small portion of the letter and read it. Why did the Minister of Education do that?
What was the reason the minister?
Let me read the whole document.
What was the reason the minister?
Go ahead, make your point. When you're ready, you read the whole document.
He just read the document. But anyway, to make my point, look, this is sad. First of all, you go out you go to Liberia, you see a good number of the young people are not in school. They out selling fried plantain, selling Grand Prix and those kind of little things. And this president had pledged to make sure these students stay in classroom. And to see him taken away from the instructional time, time that they're supposed to be in the classroom, they will line the street. And this president, when people line the streets now 3, 4, 5 hours, somebody said yesterday you can be in the bathroom, they start stopping traffic. That's how long these people have been out in the street waiting for him. So the entire school days was interrupted. That's one. Two, the bus that we saw, the students were the one pushing that bus. That's child labor. Who knows what could have happened to any of the children around that bus. But more to the point, these are the new buses that were brought in. Mr. Kamara said the bus did not break down. I gave him that. It could have been stuck, but it was reported that the bus broke down. But I also did see a clip of one of the buses where they're leaning so badly. The suspension had already broken. And somebody actually sent out the clip. I don't think he has seen it. But that is a bigger issue I think that we're addressing here. The lost productivity, government officials going out to meet president and the student line. When does it stop? What does it really do for the president? Why do people have to leave their work in school to go and greet the president? Every time the president returns, people line.
You guys are making too much out of nothing, man.
People line the tarmac. We see all the time. Ministers, the whole government is practically at a standstill. Everybody go to Roberts to go and meet the president. What does it do? Why? Somebody show a clip of the president's trip to that place, coming, returning, and a clip of John Mahama. John Mahama in the street. Not a single soul is standing in the street. You understand me? To welcome him to where? He just passes, the siren passes, the convoy passes, he goes to his mansion. I think it's about time we think about this. I don't think it helps the government in any way to have these people line the street and go and, and sing praises to him and beat drum all day. It doesn't do anything to the fact that this government has not been able to deliver anything for these people since they came into office. I think that's the bigger issue.
Okay, there you go.
Politicians, bad people.
Is this politician right here?
Politicians are bad people.
These
They
are
can turn everything around for the worse.
these are politicians pushing the bus.
I'm talking about this man, yeah, this number man.
No. You said.
Anybody can
But
push
we're looking at the
bus.
video, then you're talking about me.
Anybody
No,
can push bus. One bus push down a problem. The student were on the bus. They gotta push it.
The bus stuck on the grass.
That bus is stuck. That bus went way under. The wheels went way down. It's stuck.
They say it broke down in front of Banga Administration Building.
It didn't break down. NTA has made this thing clear over and over. The bus they're talking about, they say we're leaning one side. That bus is not leaning one side. Came. I don't know. Yeah, my man. A mud road. CDC now take it.
We're students from across Banga are helping to push this car down.
Just helping.
There's a new NTA bus.
If it broke down, why are they pushing it for if it broke down? Why would they push? Why would they push a broken down bus?
They want to take it out. They want to take it out of there. But listen to this. The directive, which affected both public and private institutions, left many parents and educators frustrated, as thousands of students were taken out of classrooms for what critics describe as a political display. President Walker is expected to arrive in Bond County on Friday for a 2-day work visit, during which he's expected to meet with 70 chiefs and tribal people. So
there's no student mentioned in there, right?
But then again, there's no student mentioned in there. What is the evidence that Bogart told the student to go there?
Okay.
Bogart had his mission different.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go to Dr. Booty. Dr. Booty, obviously, Mr. Ali just showed us that he never.
Shame on you, man. Ali. Because and you don't want to spinning thing. You spinning the whole thing, but anyway.
I stood in line for ages to see Tubman and Talbot. And then Ellen did it, Joia did it.
Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see it like that.
Nobody did it. Dr.
I didn't see Tobo and Tubman. I'm talking about Doe. That's what my eye was open to.
Yeah, you didn't see them because you were in Sierra Leone. Go ahead. You saw Shaka Stevens.
That's all right.
Dr. Booney, go ahead.
I think
you saw Shaka Stevens.
The easiest way to describe it is just an ego trip, right? So all of these presidents are trying to massage their egos, and they believe that large crowds. And obviously, you guys have Donald Trump in America, who is the same. This fascination with large crowds is a Liberian thing, and politicians see it as a way of just kind of massaging their egos. So that's all I can say about it. Anything again, based on the report on that bus, the bus was stuck, and not stuck, broken down. It said that the bus was broken down. So yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what the report said. And if Mr. Kamara has evidence to refute,
those students are very brilliant. Pushing the broken down bus.
No, the bus was actually stuck.
All right. So can I finish my point, please?
You see, kind of where in Ethiopia, he saw the bus stuck. The people who were reporting on the ground. He said they are wrong.
No, that was
misreporting. Pushing the broken down bus. Go ahead.
Of course. That's misreporting.
Can I finish my point? I was still making
look at this bus that's coming from 7. Look.
It's too soon, man. The bus lean on
me. The bus get not needs.
That lean on me already.
I think that the quota, that the way they build the quota.
Somebody trying to how that way they build. How about a rock car behind it? A rock car go that different.
Jimmy, they say Joseph Waka bus get bow leg.
Yeah, this is the way you want this whole conversation to go. Make a whole lot of jokes about Bogart.
The bus get bow legged.
But where else you want to go? I want to bus that a brand new bus.
The UP boss got bow-legged.
Mr. Gibbon, we gotta go.
Yeah,
Let's go to the next topic.
No, someone said that the quota that got bow-legged, not a ball.
I wonder where they're pushing the broken down bus to. Monrovia?
Yeah, from behind the Monrovia.
Yeah, okay.
That boss gonna get all right.
You having a good time?
Well, yeah, I want to.
You're having a wonderful time, Mr. Gibbon.
Oh Lord, gentlemen, we had a situation between Stanton Weatherspoon and Mr. Onanuga. Weatherspoon said Onanuga is corrupt. Onanuga, he into every deal. He's supposed to be the chief of tourism. And Stanton said his hand is in everything. He's in all kinds of deals that he listed some stuff. He gave millions and millions of dollars that he's receiving way beyond the scope of his duty. Then Onanuga replied and said he would not even respond to Stanton, who is
Onaniga.
Whatever his name is, he's not Liberian. Anyway, excuse me. Onaniga says Stanton is a convicted crook or criminal. So he will not reply to him because Stanton has no credential, has no morals to question him. And it is going back and forth. It's getting worse now. Let me go to Victor. Let me start with you on this one. This one, they say it's the battle of the Titans, two crooks.
The bigger problem is, Jerome, Onanuga is the spider web. You talk on him. He is unraveling this whole government. He is involved with Moi. He is involved with Nukwe. He's involved with China Union. He's a crook.
There you go.
He's an intermediary. He's a crook.
There you go.
He is an all-purpose crook.
There you go.
So Witherspoon, never mind Witherspoon record and all of that, but Witherspoon has receipts to prove his allegations. People have called in to confirm that this guy is a crook.
Mr. Nangbe, prove to all that man's a crook, man. Prove to all.
Is the one. Let me stop interrupting me, Alio. He is the man who negotiated between China Union and Prince Moi and the legislative caucus of the three counties, Maserado, Margibi, and Bong. When China Union wanted to waive when they charged taxes to be waived after COVID, and they were having difficulty where they wanted to waive $14 million and give the people around $6 or whatever million that Moi then took from him. Chris Hayes Onanuga was the intermediary who negotiated the deal, and he is the one who received that money. And of course, it came to a boil because people that Seaford and all of that were left out. Well, it turns out this very Chris Hayes Onanuga is the same man everybody is using in that town to launder money. He has these shell companies that he uses when you want to make a big deal with government. He is the go-between. And the question is, why does the president, you know what they say about knowing you and your company, right? We know you by the company you keep. This man is in the government. He is an official of this government. He has a diplomatic official passport. He works for the government of Liberia. He is the director of tourism for the government of Republic of Liberia. And he is a crook. And this person is aware of this. And this man is still in the government. And so Witherspoon is out to prove a point. Chris Onanuga has absolutely nothing to push back against Witherspoon except to talk about what we already know about Witherspoon. Yeah, right now we're not talking about Witherspoon. Forget the messenger. We are talking about the message that the messenger is bringing out. And Chris Hayes Onanuga, as far as I'm concerned, he is a crook. He hasn't come out to deny any of the allegations that Mr. Witherspoon is leveling against him, including Moi and other. Their hands are in his pocket. He is the crook. He's duping them and duping the government of the Republic of Liberia. He takes the money. He doesn't deliver all the money to the people. Everybody's running after this one man. And he's the big boy. Worst of all, he's not even a Liberian. How is he a government official in the Republic of Liberia? So I leave it to Kamara to explain it here, Thomas. Let him
Yeah, I'm
tell
coming
us.
to explain it right now.
When the bookie could not be a government official, why is Chris Hill Onanuga an official of the government report of Liberia? He's not a Liberian.
Look, Mr. Gimmer, this man is becoming dangerous.
Who, Onanuga?
No, Nangwe. He's becoming.
What else? Did I say anything that Witherspoon has not said?
No,
And
no,
I'm the one.
Nambe, he's not talking about. He said Onanuga is getting dangerous.
No,
Oh,
I'm talking about Nangwe. You see, the whole thing, the enemy of my enemy is my friend thing that we're doing, even though you know it's not genuine friendship, these things are not called for. To call somebody a crook, yada, 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 all the things you outline here, Mr. Nangwe, you can't bring anything to prove it except for what you heard in the grapevine, what you're hearing around social media. And for this guy, Waterspoon, I mean, you can't be living glass out throwing stones around. This government have been audited. Every section of this government have been audited. The audit report.
Didn't you see the 1 million that I checked that was
but let me finish. But let me finish. This government has been audited. The GSC have done that. There's nothing on this man. Nothing. Just because Stanton says it, yeah, you're just bombing this man. Just bombing this man. You have no evidence or anything.
No, but wait a minute, Leo. This man is not without controversy.
So, Jimmy, before you come in, let me give Leo
bribes.
Accusation
of bribing 950,000 mining company. That was over the years. Okay, it's not just now he in the line.
Oh, those are allegations. Bribe is a crime. Bribe is a crime. So all of those are allegations. Say it's alleged. I'm not saying that these things are not all out in the open. And to say Onaniga is not a Liberian, that's not a fair statement to make. You can't use his last name to conclude he's not a Liberian. You can't do that. When he became a Liberian, the man was born in Liberia. Because Tanner said the man from Nigeria, so you say the man from Nigeria. The man mother from Liberia, from the southeast. Yeah, so you can't just say the man are Nigerian.
Don't bring this out. We don't want you. Don't bring this out. You don't want you.
Let me go to Jimmy. Jimmy. Orandiga was on another show with me, and he told me that he was having internet problem because he was in the jungle somewhere.
That's
where
right.
He wanted to do ecotourism. Little did he know that in the background they had a Holiday Inn written in the background. So I told him, I said, he said he was in the Sapo forest. The Sapo forest. And then we were seeing the Holiday Inn stuff there. So I asked him, I said, what part of the Sapo forest is the Holiday Inn? And he dropped off. Mr. Eastman, this guy is bad news.
Well, you know, this Chris Onanuga has held high level positions before. He was referenced as a special presidential envoy on tourism for Liberia. He has publicly criticized the Ministry of Tourism. He asserted that tourism has not been given the attention he considers necessary. So he is supposed to, I mean, with all his criticism, I think they're giving him chance now to see what he can promote, what he can build. But like I pointed out earlier, he's not without controversy. But let's leave that alone. Why they have not indicted him is another thing. Agree that Stanton may have his own fraud allegations and indictment against him, but what he trying to bring to light is the further sucking of the Liberian people money and abuse by various people. If he can bring attention to that, to so that it doesn't happen, I totally support that. Now, I must say everybody needs their day in court. So it needs to be fair. The way we bring these accusations is not good. I don't support tarnishing somebody's reputation just for sake. But if he is actually involved, then I think the alert that he's giving the administration that this man is doing. If you notice that that program is always citing different people on their alleged dishonesty, right? And they try to bring light to people who are involved in dealings and whatnot with the president. So that is what that show is about. So calling Stanton's credibility into question, it doesn't do anything for him. What he has to do is to show that he is not a fraudster, that he will actually bring benefit to Liberian tourism. Liberian tourism has a whole lot of potential. We shouldn't take it for granted, but we have to know how to. Just the other day, I saw a picture of where the Cestus River enters into the ocean. Beautiful, beautiful picture. But guess what? The buildings around there, you see them shells. In other words, you just see the concrete. They no roof, no nothing. That place could have been developed as a tourist center, but we're not making use of our potential. And so, this Chris Hayes Anunaga, what is he doing? Another thing we fail to do is to tie the resources. Like if I appropriate $1 million to tourism, it has to be tied to results. We can't just give the money and let it go up to what expenditures and administration. What did tourism do? What did it bring? What benefit did it bring? What revenue did it bring? How can we measure the result of the money we spent on tourism? And that is one of the things, if the Buckeye administration does, they will exceed. But if you don't tie these money that you're giving directly to the results, it will still simply be, smushed over. You say, well, we'll get that $1 million out of the issue or nothing. No, they need to show you what they've done. They need to bring benefit. If you have nothing to show, then it's time for your removal. That's what I hope to see.
Let me go to Honorable Kane.
Mr. Gamer, can I go so I can close? Because
yeah. Dr. Moody said you have to go address this now. We have the Ministry of Information and Tourism. We have the president just set up another tourist council. Then they have this man who is director of tourism. So with all this going on, how is it possible for this one country to have all these departments, and yet and still we don't have the corresponding issues that make tourism grow, that roads connectivity, utilities, light, all of these things that if I want to go to the Sapo forest, how do I get there? When do I get there? Talk to us about the duplication of all of these functions.
I think when I was invited to join this show last year, January, I think, or February, one of the things that became quite clear within a few months is that this government didn't have a clear plan of action for how they were going to deliver on this arrest agenda. And I think it is becoming clearer as we go that they're trying to make things up as they go along. And whenever you don't, I think most of you would know this because most of you are leaders in your various careers and business owners as well. I think they say something like if you don't plan, you plan to fail or something like that.
Yeah, you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Yeah, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yeah, and that's basically what's happening. All right, the president doesn't have a plan. The people around him didn't develop plans. Right, and basically they're being reactionary. Right, at this moment in time, and even the reactions are not good enough, unfortunately, for the Liberian people. This is what the people voted for. Unfortunately, some of us sounded the concern that we didn't think this president was strong enough to be able to deliver on the mandate, because you need someone who can hold his people accountable to be able to deliver. You need that stamina. And I didn't think he had it. And again, I'm being proven right, I believe. The reason why you have all these duplications, and the reason you have the president setting up various committees here and there just to expend the Liberian people money on waste, is because there is no plan. Because if you had a plan from day one, right? Everyone in this room who has a plan from day one, people will see your plan. Even though your plan might take some time to come to fruition, but people can see the direction you're going in. If you ask me, and even if you ask Mr. Ali Kamara, who is a
No,
supporter of this government, he can't tell you what the plan is because there's no plan, right? You ask the
I
president,
can
he know
tell
what the
you.
plan is. You get a chance to tell Mr. Kamara. Please bear with me. Yeah, and so because they don't have a plan, we will continue to see these things. And again, he's not the only president. President Weah had the same issue. President Sirleaf had the same issue. Politicians come to government without a clear understanding. Okay, here is a problem. How do I tackle that problem? If I get the job, these are the things I'm going to do. I'm going to raise taxes on these people. I'm going to invest this amount, a percentage of our budget into this sector so that we move people away from government job into agriculture or into something. There's no plan. And so these things are not happening. But in terms of the show itself, Mr. Khan, it's great to see you again. It's been a long time that we have been on a show together. Hopefully, you will do more of the On Point because I think you do most of the Thursday shows with Dennis. We would like to see you on Point a bit more. I look forward to your insights. Not like Ali Kamara, where he doesn't really say much good stuff, but I do look forward to your insights. And for the rest of you, have a great rest of your
No, no,
Sunday.
no.
And
You should
thank you
stay
for
on. You
having me again.
don't talk like you know what you're talking, then you run away. You talk like you know what you're talking, so stay on. Not wrong.
So
Mr. Carter,
just
Mr. Carter, real quick. It says here, in October, President Joseph Boakai has set up an IP Tourism Commission. Instead, he has established Liberian National Tourism Authority, LNTA, the new autonomous agency responsible for promoting, regulating the country's tourism sector. So what's going on here?
So this is why I wanted to clarify. Liberia has been on this path of establishing a tourism authority for the past, let's say, since Madam Salif was president. If you go back to Madam Salif regime, there was a study that was done, I think, for Liberia by the International Trade Center. You know, tourism is more like today is looked at in the context of trade because it's service. And the advice was that Liberia needed to set up an institution to be able to address the issue of tourism. Planning around tourism. Tourism has a lot of services that you need to deliver. And so this work started. The law that created the Liberia Tourism Authority was submitted even under President Weah's regime. This government made that law in Parliament. I think at a certain point there were two versions of the law that were submitted. And then they tried to harmonize the law and they passed the law. So the plan is that tourism is going to leave MICAT because right now MICAT is the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism. So the plan was that we are going to establish a tourism authority and then that tourism function will move to the tourism authority. It was the same thing that happened with the land authority. The land authority was initially a land commission. When it eventually became a land authority, they took all of the functions that were spread across government. Some of the land function was with the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Some of it was with, I think, Sandra. They tried to aggregate it in one place. This is the same thing that is happening with this tourism authority. Even the staff members that are in MICAT that work on tourism, they are now going to move to the tourism authority. So it's going to be an authority that will preside over planning, operations, and service delivery related to tourism. Because like you said, tourism is a sector that needs to be developed. And for Dr. Budi to say, oh, there's no plan, and you have the arrest agenda for inclusive development that the government has put out there as their medium-term development strategy, you can say there is no plan. I think where the shortages are is on the side of developing strategies. You have the bigger AAID, but we need some sectoral strategies to be able to drive its implementation. If you say that, I can listen to you. But to say the government has no plan is not true. And also to clarify that Chris is not the director for the new agency. Chris is the chair of the board of the tourism authority. He comes from being the presidential advisor on tourism. like Mr. Ismail said. But the president has appointed Eva Cooper as the director of the Tourism Authority and Dogba Norris as the deputy. So they will head the management team. And if you look at some of the investment that have been done now, the road that is being built to Robert Sport is actually being built to be able to promote tourism. Because tourism cannot function all by itself. It has to be complemented with road infrastructure, people to be able to fly to places and all of that. So I think it's not fragmentation. What is happening is to be able to consolidate to address that issue that we had in the past.
Okay, Mr. Khan, let me push back on. You say they are going to separate tourism from the Ministry of Information, and the style will move over. But from what President Wagner have done here is a new, totally different establishment here. As he has, he established the board. The board has the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Justice, Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of you name it. Have all of these folks on there. So. How would it be a separate? How will it be a transfer? Like you said, they're going to be a transfer of people from Mecca to tourism, when it looks like it's a whole different ball game.
No. What I'm saying to you is that tourism was under MICAT before as a department. So if you go to MICAT, you have the Department of Tourism. The plan was we establish a tourism authority and then we take that function from MICAT. So tourism is not going to be in MICAT. The problem sometimes I have with these new laws is that right now they have created a tourism authority, but they have now amended the act that created MICAT. We need to amend the act that created MICAT to take that function away from there. Or when the tourism law was passed, you just say that by the passage of this law, the tourism function that is in MICAT ceases to exist. Even up to now, I'm still asking the question as to whether when Lands was taken away from Ministry of Lands, Mines and Energy, whether they amended that law, because they just changed the name. They just removed the logo or the name of the ministry, which was Lands, Mines and Energy, and it has now changed to Mines and Energy. But I don't remember for sure a law going to Parliament to say we are going to amend this act. So to come to the point that you are raising, it's actually a new authority that has been created. But the plan is to transition the tourism function from MICAT to that authority.
Excellent.
That's why it has a board. Because all of the government authorities, you go to LRA has a board. You go to Land Authority has a board. So that institution is going to have a separate board for governance purposes.
Honorable Namwit, I see people coming on, a few people coming on because they have figured out that the Eagles were going to win this game. But kudos to the Eagles. But Honorable Namwit, we are talking about, I think Mr. Kane has a point here. When we create these new agencies, we don't go back to abolish, to cut down the fat from the other agencies. We leave them as they are and just create another one, and it creates the bottleneck and the budget balloons, because you are not saying, well, we started a new tourism, so everybody here now, we take you from information payroll and transfer you over to the new agency, making less job, less money here, and we put it here. No, everything remains the same. The people remain there, and the other people just kind of bring in new people, and it's causing a problem.
Yeah, I was just looking here. We have Liberian Telecommunications Corporation, and then we have Liberian Telecommunications Authority. I don't know what the difference is. We have the Liberian Airport Authority, then we have the Civil Aviation Authority. I don't know what the difference is.
With the telecom, one is a legal, they issue frequency
regulator
and regulation. Yeah, one's a regulator, the other's a
and one is a service provider.
Don't we still have the Minister of Post and Telecom?
Post and Telecom takes care of policy.
Right.
LTC is actually to be like a Lone Star or Secom.
Yeah.
The Liberian is our own telecommunication agency. So right now they are trying to develop a partnership so that they can be the tier service provider in Liberia. So they are like a company. LTA is a regulator. They regulate the whole sector.
So what does the ministry do?
The ministry is responsible for policy. So anything related to telecommunication policy, it is the ministry that sets that agenda.
Okay.
And
So we have water and sewer, then we have water and sanitation, another something. But anyway, the point I'm making.
The confusion is if you have, so you have a whole ministry with maybe 200, 300, 400 people working there, and they just read policy.
Yeah, that's.
And then you got another ministry that got another 100, 200 people, and they regulate. Then you get a whole other 200 that implements.
Are they gonna thinking and make a CNC will not win election because you not even understand the thing.
Yes, they understand it. They didn't have to understand.
You're not understanding because if you just heard Candace say one is administrative, one is regulatory.
One is purely technical, and the other one is just administrative.
No, Mr. Game, let me explain.
Okay.
The Ministry of Post and Telecommunication is responsible for policy-related issues. So, for instance, all of the you see that all of these cables that are being laid to improve access to internet and all of this, it is the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication that is responsible for that.
Thank you.
LTA is there to regulate. So before Second can add $1 to the price of scratch card, LTA got to get them that approval. LTA is the one that issue license to all of these.
We understand that, yes.
So that's regulation.
Okay.
And then policy is anything we want to do related to ICT policy.
I think they can merge them.
This is what I'm saying. Those three things. Do you need different agencies or
no? They only need one actually, but all of them can be functional in one unit.
No, Kamara, you are not an administrator. You are a propagandist.
No, but I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that all of them can be under one umbrella with different departments. But they can be under one unit.
You will be laying people off. You will be laying partisans off.
But that's how it works.
Okay,
when the
guys,
president came, the point I'm making, and I'll give it. The point I'm making, I'll give it by the room. When the president came, we got the government employed over 70,000 people. Yeah, and that's why the payroll,
you can't get fired there, Mr. Nangwe.
I understand.
It takes time.
But then he's creating new ones. That is the problem.
No, he's just taking one. He's just taking one from under mid-card and making it an authority by itself.
We've been here 2 hours.
And he's trying to close down the ministry.
That's my closing. I just wanted to say hello to our friend Jala here. I think he's busy talking about you and I. But hello, Mr. William Jala. It's good. We're glad you are here. Please come back next Sunday. We'll be here again. Thank you very much.
Jala said, with all the development going on in the Southeast, you still buy mouth in the government. Thank you very much. Jimmy, close it out. You are muted.
As we usually say, no matter where your political sympathy lies, one thing is sure, we are all Liberians. And so we end with our little bit of
we are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberian.